First of all, I'd like to thank Deputy O'Brien for putting forward this legislation. It is now clear to me the government's policy is to allow more people than ever thought possible to live in homelessness. You have not put in any real supports or tangible supports to accommodate people who will be made homeless after the winter eviction ban is lifted on April the 1st. You even voted down protections to protect renters who have long-term illnesses or young children or several other vulnerabilities. These aren't mistakes. This isn't incompetence. There are clear policy decisions that you will not protect people from homelessness and you will not build enough houses because you represent big property developers, speculators, bankers, but not ordinary working people. You stand up here and talk proudly about how you've built more social houses this year than any since 1975. 48 years, you and your cohorts, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and Labour and the Greens, have stood over a policy of not building social housing for 48 years. When you had a policy of selling off council housing to tenants and didn't rebuild to match that sell-off of our stock. And you didn't plan for the amount of people who would need social housing up to now. So you have failed those people, but it's because you knew it. You knew exactly what you were doing. After all of this, after all your policies that sacrificed people's ability to have a home to the market and the rich, you now have the nerve to remove one of the few barriers left protecting thousands from being evicted into homelessness. You created this crisis, you planned it and voted for it every step of the way, and now you're voting to put people into homelessness. I think a pretty simple acid test for a government is to not purposely and deliberately put people into homelessness, and you just failed that acid test. But there isn't a lot of tests this government does pass. Record homelessness, record waiting time for hospitals, record number of people on trolleys, record lack of services. There isn't a problem you've met that you haven't made worse. The problem is that your government represents the people who make money off these crises. You represent the wealthy, and that these aren't crises for the wealthy. This is how you make their money. The country is rapidly approaching breaking point, and your time is up. It's time to get out and allow people to elect a government that represents them and not the bankers and the developers and everyone who got us into this crisis. I want to say to people, if you are facing notices to quit into homelessness, overhold. Please overhold and contact those people who will help you to do that. And please join the Cost of Living Coalition at the Dáil at 1 p.m. this Saturday to show this government that we won't take this line down.
Thank you, Deputy Collins. Minister of State, Deputy Kieran.